know what you're talking about when it comes to your team.
You better believe it, man.
All right, Mr. GT, I'll holler at you later. Again, ladies and gentlemen, FLINT is leaving the building right now. Flint, we giving the show back to y'all at this point, but Flint was in the building. So, Gerard, man, I appreciate your time again, sir, and I'll holler at you again later in the future, okay?
Hey, J-Liner, thanks for everything, man. Thanks for all the, calls and being real like that, man. Please keep in contact, man. Love you so much, and you make sure you stay in contact.
Yes, sir. Love you, too.
All right, bro.
All right.
Yep.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. GT, my man GT, Gerard Timms. Like I said, we went to high school together, man. And this dude, when I say the stuff he's talking about now, Kyron that's in the chat room, in the Wait a Minute Show chat room, he'll tell you this too. This is no surprise by the stuff that he's done. Because if you were in school with us, you just like, that's GT. That's all he did. So that's just, when he believes something, man, he goes 1,000%. And as you can see, got to give him credit, man. May of 2017 to get a tattoo to saying your team is going to win, that never have won a NFL Super Bowl, and you got a second-year quarterback and some question marks, at some other positions, and your coach that you got to give him credit, man. You got to give him credit. And that's what we did. That's why we had him on the show, so, I told you, that will be interesting. So, we are going to get off of football for a little bit, and we're going to touch base because we got the, NBA All-Star break that's coming up. So, we're going to get into that, but we're going to get into, some trades that were made, last week before, right after the show. That I didn't get to talk about, but I'll give you my little viewpoint, on it here in just a moment. But we'll come back. Lopan is getting dressed to go out. I think he's not going to be around after about 15 minutes. Indeed. Yeah, so do your thing, Lopan. Do your thing. But you listen to the Wait a Minute Show. Your man Jelani JB Bodie. We'll be back in just a moment after these words.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Vince Wright, the sports governor, and you know me from the Sports Done Right show. But when I'm not doing Sports Done Right, I'm in the executive mansion chilling with the Wait a Minute Show. That's right, Jelani, Lopan, indeed. Keep it tuned here, y'all. The Wait a Minute Show. My name is Vince Wright, and I approve this message.
Yo, this is your boy Keith C from the
Kicking It With Keith C show.
When I want to jam, I'm jamming with Queen Josie and DJ New as they're kicking those vibes.
Don't be a crook who steals. Buy what you need at DougieDeals.com.
We don't take orders from super fools. We give them.
Give it to you.
Any and all resistance will crumble. Nonsense. There's never been a threat.
Squad.
Couldn't handle. It is the purpose of the
Squad.
to align our infamous forces against the powers of good and defeat them, leaving us, the rulers of the world.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, and this is...
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
On the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. So, we're coming back from the break. Obviously, we were talking to my man GT, and we got some folks that's in the building as well listening to the show. So, I'll make sure I shout you out. Some of the folks that's in here is my man Big L. I told you Sid Galloway was in here. Azren is in here as well. Ron. K, Eagles win 3,000. Max screwed up. Pharrell is also in here, and plus, a bunch more. So if you want, get in here into the chat room and chat with the Wait a Minute Show listeners and holler at your boy if you got something to say to me too. I'll answer the question. Maybe not the answer that you want, but I'll answer the questions that you got in here. But we're going to get into some basketball. Yeah, because it's basketball season. Basketball is taking over. They pretty much got it on lock at this point. So, last week I was on the show, and of course, the trade deadline was the following day. It ended at 3 p.m. on Thursday. So, I told you on Wednesday's show that let's see. told you the Cleveland Cavaliers did not need to make a trade. They just needed to stop pointing fingers. Now, I will say for one person, because I said one person is not going to fix their situation. I didn't know that they were going to say, you know what? You, and you in the back, and you. Pack your bags. Let's go. Now, that right there, that was something I was like, whoa. Now, at the beginning of the season, I did tell you this team was a team of question marks. And I meant everybody. And down the list, whoever was a question mark pretty much got traded. Derrick Rose, question mark, traded. D. Wade, question mark, traded. Isaiah Thomas, question mark, traded. Jay Crowder, question mark, traded. You know, so they sent these guys on and they got back Jordan Clarkson, George Hill, Rodney Hood, and Larry Nance Jr. I like the trade. Now, people are going to say, well, you know, can they beat the Warriors? That's not important right now. But I'll say right now at this point, no, you know, but they got to try and get out of the East. So I like the moves that they've made with guys. I think a lot of people don't know about Jordan Clarkson because the Lakers is not what they once were. They're not balling out and everything, so people are not paying attention. Plus, they're on the West Coast, so people ain't staying up to 10:30, 11 o'clock at night to go watch a Lakers game, you know, on the West Coast. So him and Larry Nance Jr., and I think Larry Nance Jr., he's a high flyer, you know, on this team. He's an energy guy. He's going to probably, you know, he's going to bring defense, but he's going to be that guy that'll run the wing. So I like, you know, those two guys coming from the Lakers and George Hill and Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood, another guy that's in Utah, team that probably a lot of people don't watch. And George Hill, he was with the Sacramento Kings. Here's the thing I like about George Hill. George Hill gives them, out of all of them, because the rest of them are fairly young. So it gives them some young, you know, LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers, give them some young talent, you know, to work with. But the thing about George Hill is that he has played in a franchise or on a team that has had success. Two teams, with the Spurs and with the Pacers. So he knows, you know, about how you have to operate, how you have to come together, how you need to function, the things that I think some of the guys just wasn't willing to do, you know, and that's why they're gone. You know, D Wade, the whole thing, I give D Wade all the credit for coming off the bench, you know, because he easily could have said, no, I'm starting and y'all gonna make me, you know, I'm gonna make y'all start me and everything. He did what was necessary for the team. So you got to give kudos to D Wade, but it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. You know, whatever happened in that meeting probably is part of that decision of them trading, you know, Isaiah Thomas. Jay Crowder was like, hey, to get, you know, some other people back, we got to get rid of somebody. So they got rid of Jay Crowder. And Derrick Rose, probably the biggest question mark, you know, on that team. It didn't pan out. You know, he was missing, you know, from games and then didn't know if he wanted to play, you know, and all this stuff. And at this point where they are, they need every guy that they can, you know, on it. So they shipped them all out. And I also think this move is a future move to try and get LeBron to stay, you know, or convince him to stay. I don't think LeBron has made up his mind what he's going to do, you know, at this point. But with the team that they had, with Isaiah and Derrick Rose, you know, and all that stuff, and we know D Wade wasn't going to be around after this season. Let's just be honest. It wasn't built for LeBron to be like, you know what? I want to stay here another 2, 3 years, 4 years, finish my, you know, career out here. So with some young guys and some potential, and you still got that first round draft pick that you could trade for another player or get, you know, a big time player in the draft. I think they were, you know, like maybe, you know, this is a future move as well, but I think they're going to be better than a lot of people, you know, think. I think they will still rival Boston. Boston may still have the edge at this point, but Cleveland got off to a pretty good start. They gave the business to Boston, last week during Paul Pierce's retirement, and they beat OKC. So, they're putting together some things, but, that they're in that honeymoon stage. They haven't been, confronted with any, trials and tribulations yet. So that's what I'm waiting, to see, from this team. But I do think with the trades, they are in a better situation or a better position than what they once were with the guys that they had. Not that they were bad guys. I just don't think how they wanted them to mesh. It just did not mesh. Angry Black Man is in the chat room, and because I got to go to the chat room, man. And Angry Black Man, he was talking about my Detroit Lions. But before I read what Angry Black Man is saying here in the chat room, I just want to let you know, Angry Black Man plays in a basketball league, and they were playing against a Brazil travel team. Now, they gave that Brazil travel team the business, but now I don't have no video evidence. But I think whoever Angry Black Man was guarding, I think they dropped 50 on him. I think they gave him that Damian Lillard game, but his team won. But I'm just going to say that because he be getting on my Detroit Lions, so I got to get on Angry Black Man. He always be trying to, talk about my teams and everything. But, I like Angry Black Man being on here because he taught basketball and he speaks his mind, he speaks the truth, and he doesn't hold back. So I like that. But he said George Hill ain't never got it done in the playoffs as a starter. Now, he has struggled at times, but I think George Hill, if you're asking me George Hill or Derrick Rose, I'm going to take George Hill. If you're asking me George Hill, Isaiah Thomas, at this point, Isaiah Thomas, I'm going to take George Hill because we all know, Angry Black Man, we all know once when the playoffs start, they are going to go looking for Isaiah Thomas if he was on that team. The same way when the Cavaliers won the championship over the Warriors, what did they start doing? They started targeting Steph Curry on defense. They were getting switched up to where LeBron would end up, on him, or a bigger body like J.R. Smith or somebody to go at Steph because, let's be honest, Steph is not the defensive stopper. He's not Tony Allen or anything like that. I mean, he has to have some type of weakness somewhere. So they targeted Steph, they went after him, and then followed it up with, I'm going to give you some of this Kyrie Irving to finish you off. And it worked, but it didn't work the next following year because Golden State made the adjustments to not put Steph in those situations. So I just think, for a guy like George Hill and Isaiah Thomas, if Isaiah Thomas is not going to be able to give you those points like he was giving in Boston in the fourth quarter, then you got to make a move, and I think that's what they did. So I give you credit about George Hill not getting it done in the playoffs as a starter, but I think for what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go at this point and how they're trying to do it, George Hill is probably a better fit. This is all about a fit because, Angry Black Man, you know this. You play basketball all the time. Once when the playoffs start, it's about matchups. It's about strategy. It's not about, during the regular season like it normally was. It's just like, you know what? We're going to play our five best guys. No, if you see a weakness, you got to expose that weakness. So I think how it, he fits in is what it is. Angry Black Man also said Rose is done. His heart is gone and his body is broke. And he cleared waivers and nobody picked him up. And I said, I think he should go to San Antonio. Not that he's going to just get, a bunch of, playing time or anything like that. But I think being part of a franchise like with Pop, he could give them, a few minutes here and there, and then figure out if, basketball is still, the thing that he wants to do. Because it seems like it's a lot of stuff, going on with Derrick Rose and we don't know what the answer is. Kyron's in the chat room. He said, I would take George Jefferson over Derrick Rose. Wow, Kyron. Moving on up. That's all I can say. George Jefferson. Wow. But, Wow, that took me. But Angry Black Man said, when is Michael Blackson, a.k.a. Reggie Jackson, back for your Pistons? Who knows, Angry Black Man? He has been, injured for a while. They are needing him back. But I'm going to say this. I'm not one of those people that just advocate for a trade.